Good morning, everybody. Today I want to expose some of the lies that Pinocchio, aka Harvey Norton, come out and trying to mislead the people with yesterday. But before I start that, let me apologize again for the noise of the chicken. The reason I have to make this video at this certain time is because I is a contractor and I have to go to work when I finish here. So the time to make a video other than this is very scarce because I have a family home, and when I finish work and go home, I have a baby, 2 years old. It's almost impossible to make a video with she there, because she way more noisy than this chicken. So please forgive me for the inconvenience that this noise may cause. The first thing I want to start with is people who vote without certificate of employment. Now he's saying out of the boxes that finished counting so far, over 600 boxes had people voting without certificate of employment. And he said the people then who vote without certificate of employment would be involved in fraud and illegalities. Of course, if it happened, that is true. But I want you to explain how this could have even been possible. That people at the amount you're saying would have show up at this polling station and voted. So far it's over 250, and there's only out of 600 boxes. And we have over 2,000 in total. How these people would have turned up at the polling station and be allowed to vote without a certificate of employment when they had GCOM staff and the Eagle Eye team on the ground in the same building, in the same room? How this would have even been possible? Yeah, I come trying to mislead people with this kind of stinking lie. This could have never happened. For this to happen, they mean y'all agents who was at the polling station would have had to be selling y'all out. And the GCOM staff would have had to be choosing a side who they want to win the election for allow this to happen. And we know GCOM was involved with helping y'all thief the election. So I don't see how this could have been possible. That over 250 persons so far could have get access to vote without a certificate of employment. So, Pinocchio, y'all keep coming up with the same set of bullshit all the time. No matter how you twist it and turn it, it ending up to the same thing. It's coming back to the same thing. Y'all keep trying to switch wrong and turn wrong and all kind of thing. I think y'all can mislead people with this bullshit. That can't happen. That could never happen. Y'all think people stupid? That is little children y'all trying to fool? Yeah? It's not a little children y'all talking to big men. It's big people. Alright? It's big people. Now we say in region 1, and this is where the lie start from. This is where the first lie come from. In region 1, 50 persons would have voted without a certificate of employment. You see, there's the thing about people who lying and not good at lying. That you just forget what you lie about. Remember in your previous video, in your previous press conference, sorry, You say in region 1, 50 persons would have voted with certificate of employment, and 47 could not be found. 47 could not be found. But now you're saying that 50 of them voted without the certificate of employment. We all don't review y'all tactics, buddy. I keep saying this over and over and over. Y'all have to do a rehearsal of the lies we are coming to tell people before y'all come with them tell people. Because y'all keep exposing y'all own lies. Over and over and over, y'all doing the same bullshit. These things here ain't gonna go nowhere because it's lies. Now we say you want people to observe what happened in region 4 with these same people voting without certificate of employment. That in the APNU AFC stronghold, the numbers wasn't this great. What the numbers then was? You bring numbers, so region 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6 and 4. But when you come saying that in the APNU AFC stronghold, the numbers wasn't the same. What the numbers then was? What the numbers then was? And that in the PPP stronghold areas on the East Coast and certain part of the East Bank, the numbers then was more higher than in the APNU AFC stronghold. Come on, come on, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Of course, you're gonna come out and say the PPP stronghold is where all the thieving happen. How is it gonna happen in your stronghold? How? Come on. Come on, you can do better than that. I have faith in you that you can come up with a better lie than that. Try again. Try again. Now we're saying again that in a PPP stronghold, people who vote with certificate of employment, the certificate of employment could not be found. Again, how that is possible, unless, again, your agents and the GCOM agents was taking PPP side. When you are saying that the presiding officers them was buy out by the PPP, so okay, the presiding officer can thief out these certificate of employments. Why would they want to do that? If they're supporting the PPP, why would they want to take out the certificate of employment in the PPP stronghold? So that the votes for the PPP ain't gonna be legal? Gonna be rejected? Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to take out the vote for PPP if they're supporting the PPP? They mean they should be putting in additional certificate of employment that wasn't valid, not taken out, none. So I don't know where you're coming with this kind of dirty stinking lie and feel you can fool people with them. Now, out of the 600 back so far, over 250 persons who voted with certificate of employment had some kind of irregularities in them. 250. And there's only one who voted with or without certificate of employment. Remember, I tell y'all before, the amount of people who Mengo try to thief is who these people, these donkey, have to try to make disappear. Then he went on to the dead people who voted in 5 regions, saying that the death certificate is emerging. Aubrey, Aubrey, it's time now for y'all to fabricate something and bring it. You hear? It's over 3 months. It's time now for y'all to find something, buddy. Everybody pushing that y'all don't have no evidence, no evidence. So y'all get forced into bringing out the evidence about what Daddy Donkey was talking about. The asshole, Ganesh Manipal. About the one death certificate where y'all produced with the Emmanuel something. When yesterday, Mr. Timothy Jonas come out and say, on the same death certificate, when they run through the list, they had two person name, Emmanuel something. Two. Why Daddy Donkey didn't come out with the two of them? And say, oh, this one he vote on, this one vote on, he did. No, he only brought one. So again, we know we are going with these things. With these lies and all kind of thing. Yeah. You're gonna always try to push something forward and hope for it go through. To start up something in the end of this recount. Right? Them ain't gonna work. They are not going to work. Jackass. Ah, the boy. Then he went and said, oh, we doing the work. Of course, big man, who was doubting y'all that y'all ain't doing the work? Y'all trying to thief all the time. Since the second day after the election, March 3rd, y'all was doing the work. Trying to thief and it can't complete up to now. Nobody questioned that y'all wasn't doing the work. We know y'all was doing the work and y'all gonna continue to do the work. The work of thieving. Of course, of course. Come on. You didn't even have to mention that. You didn't even have to mention that. We know y'all putting in the work. Trying to get something out of this. Recount. There is nothing in there for y'all except a defeat at the end of it. That's all that is in there for y'all. Next thing he went to is the people who vote out of the jurisdiction. Arbery, again, for this to happen, your agents them and the GCOM agent staff had to be taking PPP side. So they mean they were selling y'all out. This again is highly impossible to happen. That people who voted outside of the jurisdiction. And again, let me clarify something with this. People who voted outside of the jurisdiction, you mentioned it earlier, would have had to vote with a certificate of employment. Right? So it's the same thing we were saying earlier, you're coming back to in a different way now. You're trying to turn it around and use it again. You say the people then who would have to vote outside of the jurisdiction would have to use a certificate of employment. So I don't know where you're coming with this here now, that people who voted outside of the jurisdiction. Okay? So don't we gonna buy the night. This is the same thing. Turn around in a different way. And the number that was 1,048 people would have voted outside of the jurisdiction. When earlier you say was 250 of them. But we know the numbers them have to add up to match Mingo on at the end. Remember I said earlier that y'all can't just thief it in region 4 alone. Y'all have to divide the amount and distribute it into the 10 regions. So this is how it's going. So they will give you a figure up to now of 1,298 person who would have voted with irregularities. Okay, RB, okay. Then he went on to say, people who voted, people who did not have an ID card was allowed to vote. Yes, people who didn't have ID card was allowed to vote. But they would have voted on the oath of identity method. Yes, we know that. And there was a number of people with irregularities. Again, how much is the number of people irregularities. People who voted without certificate of employment outside of the jurisdiction, you had numbers for them, you had figures for them. How much people would have voted under the voter identity method and had irregularities? How much, sir? How much? You have to bring the out. You can't bring figures for some and don't bring for some. Okay? This is why from the inception he was saying that it cannot be considered to be anomalies anymore. It was a clear case of electoral fraud and rigging. Hey, Aubrey, hey, Pinocchio, why is a real comedian now? It's a clear case of electoral fraud and rigging. Again, the only person trying to rig and trying to establish that there was electoral fraud is y'all. Now, yes, based on what Mingo was trying to do with the Region 4 tabulation, there was rigging in this election. Well, there was an attempt to rig this election. Yes, we are supporting that. There was an attempt to rig this election. Electoral fraud is the next thing. And this way are coming up with this from from a dead list and a migration list to people with ID card who had ID card, people with certificate of employment. It moving on to a lot of things. Different things. So it appears that y'all lose y'all way already. Y'all don't know where y'all motive is again. So y'all deciding to spread off on a wider range of lies. Yes, you cannot claim that the amount of Mingo thief left the country and dead. So you have to find some other way in collecting the numbers. Yes, we know that. This is why y'all text a lamp for coming for evidence, because y'all was doing y'all thing behind the scene for know how y'all gonna come up with these numbers. One way y'all got to use and say what's wrong and all kind of thing for coming up with the numbers then. It couldn't be that they left the country or they dead before the election. Right, we know that already. Ay. Bye. APNU AFC. APNU AFC. Come on. Come on. Y'all can do better than this. And y'all was running the country. This is why people had to vote you. Because y'all are just a bunch of idiots. Jackass. Dummies. This all y'all is, and y'all showing this clearly. Just like y'all is showing the thief in the election clearly in the classroom. Y'all, I hear a lot of people saying y'all very transparent. And y'all are not trying to prove them wrong. Y'all are very, very transparent in what y'all trying to do. Then he went on to the unstamped ballots, saying the comprehensive thing on the unstamped ballots, and there is a close correlation between unstamped ballots and the APNU AFC. Big man, based on my knowledge, this the Giant Service ballots them was not stamped. None of them. They was not stamped. And you talking about where there was intermixing for the Giant Services. A large amount of ballots was not stamped. Of course, the Giant Services ballots was not stamped. This is why you're saying intermixing. Because you would have to intermix the unstamped ballots with the stamped ballots. So you must would have find unstamped ballots in some of the ballot boxes. Now you're saying that they're supposed to be stamped. So there's the next over 8,000 of them. Over 8,000 Secret Service Giant Service ballots was not stamped. Okay, we can skin you up just now. And he believed that the PPP choose the intermixing center and work with the POs to ensure those ballots would not be stamped. Really? Really? This is where we can skin you up now. The PPP work with the POs them to ensure that the balance was not stamped. When in the first place, none of the Giant Service ballots was stamped. So how them could have working with the PPP, the POs them, to don't stamp the ballots them? Where your people them was? Where GCOM people them was? There's one point. The next thing is, if the Giant Service ballots was to stamp and they did not stamp, why are you talking about intermixing? That PPP choose the centers them with the intermixing, where they want the intermixing to happen. Why there was an intermixing if the ballots them had to be stamped? They ain't supposed to be no intermixing. So how PPP could choose where to intermix them if they wasn't right in the first place? Now, how PPP could choose where they want the intermixing to happen? Really? Then they will have to go through Low Field and Carrot Singh. And clearly they're showing that they were trying to help the AP and UAFC thief this election. So how PPP could get a work? So PPP who was running this election, not GCOM. Because GCOM clearly had to say what they want the intermixing to happen. Now it's the PPP. And PPP use the POs them. Where our people was, what GCOM staff was, when these ballots here that was supposed to stamp did not get stamped. Come on, no, they can't go nowhere. They can't go nowhere. This is the next lie that cannot pass. Where you put it. Even if you put it on a hill for roll long, you can stick. It ain't gonna roll long. They ain't go nowhere. You hear? It ain't gonna go nowhere. So I don't know y'all coming out with this again dumb, stupid lies and think y'all can mislead people. Then he went back to the point that they are not anomalies anymore. There was clear evidence of fraud and rigging. Okay, I ain't even say nothing about that because I don't say something earlier about that already. Then he said that the PPP have developed a strategy of focusing on Region 4 and Mingo trying to rig the election. When evidence showing that there was rigging in Region 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Evidence showing? Who evidence? Which evidence? Y'all evidence? Again, big man, y'all was trying to thief the election. And why people would think that y'all evidence is credible to use? Why? What kind of bullshit are you come telling people, boss? Evidence suggesting that in Region 1 to 5 had fraud and rigging. With y'all evidence, nobody ain't gonna use y'all evidence or nothing, big man. Y'all evidence is what it is. Y'all evidence, not nobody else's evidence. This is y'all own. This is for y'all to keep. Right? Y'all put them together with the statement to pull y'all got and keep them there. Okay? Leave them in there. Let them get cobweb in there. Because they ain't gonna know you. They ain't gonna know you. Now, I see you trying to use the press to help y'all fight this thieving battle. saying that the press should ask the PPP what happened in the region and in the stronghold. What happened to y'all mouth? I don't know why the president doesn't gun the egg and throw it in your fuck hole when you go up there for talk all this lie. You want this thing out one garnish money bar. I don't know, I guess gun the egg and throw it when y'all run off the fucking stage. Yeah, I think the press is dumb and stupid like y'all. Yeah? The press them know y'all trying to thief the election and where y'all coming up with a bunch of lie. The press already know that. Now y'all trying to say the PPP trying to mislead the people. When the PPP agents them come out there, is to try to expose that you're lying. They man can't even talk nothing on behalf of themselves or the party. They can't come and try to enlighten the people them that you're lying. Y'all is some shameless people, buddy. Shameless. I don't know how well y'all could know because you gotta wear a mask. So most likely your face gonna be hiding most of the time. So y'all could go to the public because if it wasn't for the mask, I don't know how y'all could go and face people in the public. Then he said one person asked him if he think Mingo was thief in the election. And he said he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know if Mingo was thief in the election. No. No, you wouldn't know. It's all y'all trying to thief the election. The person asked the wrong question. The person asked the wrong question. The question should be if y'all was trying to thief the election, not Mingo. Is the whole APNU AFC cabal was involved in what Mingo was trying to do there. Not Mingo alone. But we keep blaming Mingo alone because he's the one in the spotlight. It was all of them. So the person asked the wrong question. And he's saying that if Mingo was trying to thief the election, that means God would be laughing. Because two thieves make God laugh. No, big man. When you're accusing somebody of thieving, you got to come up with hardcore evidence. Not them make up thing where you're coming with. You hear? Again, the people them who involved in this whole thing, except the AP and UAFC, people them, is very intelligent people. Right through the board, in all the parties them, in GCOM, the observers them, is very intelligent people. And again, y'all can't fool me. How you gonna fool them? Bringing up all these kind of bullshit. Yeah, so the PPP Mingo thieving, yes, the PPP coming up with tactics to shift the focus away from region 1, 2, 3, and 5. Shift which focus away? Which focus you're talking about? Big man, the problem with region 4 was from since March 3rd. These things what the PPP saying or everybody else saying did not come up in the recount. What y'all doing is what come up in the recount. Right? So how you can be shifting a focus from something that start before this process? Why they would want to shift the focus before the recount even start? Which focus they was trying to shift? In the recount? When the same thing what they saying now they was saying since March 3rd? Eh, come on. Y'all cannot mislead people with this stupidness. Alright? It can't work. It can't work. It can't work. And there's the next thing, the next tactics and strategies he want to expose about the PPP. Yes, that at this stage, what they are seeking to do is to take the results that come early and suggesting that they are winning and that they are in front. Big man. When the after polling day, everybody get a statement of polls, and everybody know who win the election. So you don't have to take the early results and use it and try to declare that you win. You don't get it from the SOPs already. Saying that he knows since the region system was implemented, when the results are coming, because the PPP normally dominate in region 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 9. And the APNU would be dominating in 4, 7, 8, and 10. That means legally, the PPP votes will come at the end of the count. We'll start counting from the back. Coming down, how the PPP bulk of votes would have come at the end when the PPP had the first, out of the first 7, 6 of them. Out of from 1 to 7, they had 6. Yeah, I had region 4. They had 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Well, I had 5 out of the first 6 back regions. Then they had 5 out of the first 6 regions. So how the bulk of the vote would have come from the back end, unless they're starting from the back coming down. Y'all bulk would have be coming from the back end. Y'all claiming region 4, 7, 8, and 10. So you had region 4, that was in the first half. Then 7, 8, and 10 is still at the end. So how they would have been counting y'all own first and then the PPP one, right? Because from after region 6, the only one PPP had is region 9. So they had to be counting y'all own first and then count region 9 for PPP. For them, and region 9, PPP don't pick up the most of the vote from region 9. So it's gonna be the bulk coming from the back, from the top there. It had to come from the bottom half. See, again, don't come with them stupidness there. Okay? Because it can be applied to suggest